everybody, my name is ASM. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich. It's not Kaiserreich, it's TNO. I know what I'm doing. We're playing Yunnan Administration Office. It's a great name for a country. We've annexed the northern part of the country here. We're looking pretty good. Have you ever thought about playing Brazil? Yes. Again, Brazil is also one of those countries that we will play. There's so many countries I want to play as well. Hello, Catalina. How are you? Camp Haitian Proclamation. Is there anything else we can do with? I mean, it's just trying to fight the bandits, but I have absolutely no money to fight said bandits with. So I don't really know what they want from me. What are you missing? Rifles? Yeah, and support equipment. We don't have anything. Can we buy anything? I'm trying to remember where. Cold War construction. Isn't there? Yeah, there's the international market. What can we buy? Can I just buy weapons? I mean, you can only buy them from the Japanese, but that's fine. Like, if I was to buy all of these, total cost. Oh, I mean, delivers in one shot. Oh no, I want all. I want all of it, please. Take 9 deliveries, 3 deliveries. I mean, 9's fine. Again, we're not really in a rush, right? Like, we're not trying to speed through this. You know, we're biding our time right now, and that's good. We don't need to. Like how long will this factory? Like, what are we even building? I don't even remember anymore. We're trying to build the stronghold network. It's 21% of the way done. It's been 2 years. It's going to take a long time, okay, to build this bunker so we can actually. What does it even give us? I honestly don't. I don't even remember. We built it for a reason. Enemy attrition. Kind of dog shit, isn't it? Why am I building this? Who told me to build this building so long ago? But I mean, all this is looking pretty good. I mean, army base coverage we can probably improve. How expensive are you? 15,000. I mean, it's a lot cheaper, but I mean, even then, our construction speed is so bad. It's so horrible. Let's buy some support equipment from the Japanese. 13 deliveries. Honestly, that's fine. Is there anything else we want to buy? Because we're gonna use these guns against the Japanese, right? So I think buying the equipment is okay. 22 deliveries. Okay, I understand that might be a bit much, but buy max. 19 deliveries, sure. Again, we're not going to be able to build any civilian economy whatsoever. But as, like, if we're importing guns, they're basically just our own military factories, in a sense. Okay, Omsk is at war with somebody else. Not a big deal. Macedonia is at war. Again, it's not really our domain. Burma does what Burma wants. Or not Burma, Macedonia. Once more up the Burma Road. Li Mi had spent most of the night working in his office. The cabinet meeting called for Song Jilin, while necessarily to discuss his plans for the insurgency, had cost Li Mi valuable time in actually planning said insurgency. He had 2 responsibilities to the NRA. The first was to manage all guerrilla operations against the Japanese. Second was to conduct the opium smuggling that provided much of the needed capital to fund his first responsibility. Li Mi knew that many within the NRA were opposed to the smuggling of opium. Even Song Jilin himself wasn't comfortable with it, although he at least understood its necessity. Indeed, if the NRA didn't engage in smuggling of opium, they would have run out of resources years ago, unable to pay its own men or fund its own operations. He reminded himself of this whenever he himself had doubts about his own actions. He knew of the dream of returning China, to China triumph all. Li's mind returned to the task at hand, planning the insurgency. After years of exile, the NRA was finally preparing to meet their glorious return to China, and it would start with an uprising in Kunming. Of course, it wouldn't be hard for local officials in the city to notice the massive amount of men and weapons being smuggled in for preparation. So as countermeasure, Li had prepared bribes, millions of yuan and yen, all generated via opium smuggling and other illicit operations, and will be funneled into Kunming to keep officials from talking to the Japanese. Our return is imminent. Why the name change? The name changes because we annexed Guizhou. We're still Luhan, but we're now administrating more regions, so we changed our name. I mean, it's not a great name. The Xi'an Administrative Office is an absolute dog shit name. Like, I don't like it. Let's just do a little quick save here. It's not a great name, unfortunately, but it's nothing I can do about that. I think our name will change soon again. We'll probably call it the National Revolutionary Army. Insufficient contracts, because we lost a factory. Delivery 0 to 27, 14 days, 19 days. I mean, there's not much we can do. There we go. 87% efficiency. Be done in 17 days. I mean, 17 deliveries. So that's going to take what? 1965. So like a year? A little bit more than a year. Honestly, that's reasonable. A life for a life. Wei woke up to the same numbness in his arm. It had become the first sensation to meet him every morning since he had arrived at the camp. That and a dull smell of the earth. Dirt always crept in, no matter how tightly he wrapped the frayed blankets around himself. Everything was so unsophisticated here. Yet, these last few nights had slept the soundest in his life. He was safe, but he was not quite home. Across from him on the far side of the camp, there's another man who was dragged here the night before. His rough shed uniform betrayed him as a conscript, yet subservient to Lu Han. As such, the conscript had not been fortunate enough to be welcomed by Wei, not be welcomed like Wei had been. There was always a guard on the eye trained on him, and a hesitancy throughout the rest of the camp to be shared with him any of their dwindling supplies. We had heard that they had only let him live because he pleaded so desperately for his life. For this reason, he felt a sympathy towards the man that he could not ignore. Slowly, he unraveled himself from the mess of the blankets, dusted himself down as best that he could, then approached him. The conversation did not come easily between them at first, but soon enough it flowed listlessly, meandering gently through hopes and fears, love and heartbreak, life and death. It did not last, as it never could. In the middle of a particularly heart-wrenching remembrance of the night, Wei abandoned everything. The conscript leapt to his feet and began to wail in alarm. He raised his rifle. The shotties of the camp let off round after round into his enemy. Wei held his ground too, but he knew the conscript was far too exposed to the soldiers as he went to shout at him to get back. A bullet tore through the conscript's chest. Wei rushed over, though it was already too late. He could see the blood starting to pool on the other side of the hole that the lead had carved whilst he held the man. And as his body began to sink, low and lifeless, into his own arms, he soon realized that he had not even thought to ask for the poor conscript's name. Another name casualty left to the unmarked grave. An Algerian war, okay. A little war between the Spanish and the Italians. Not a big deal. I think the French are also there. No, it's just between Italy and the Spanish. That is a-okay. So are we still poor? I mean, is there anything we can do? I mean, the debt's going down. It's fallen pretty fast. Reports to the governor's office. What? Zhang and An are having clandestine meetings with NP officers? Yes, Governor, they are. Here are the documents confirming it. Lu Han looked at the papers handed to him. They were in black and white and crisply written Chinese. Zhang said Xing and An and Pu were having clandestine meetings with National Protection Army officers. Suspicion the official that had come in with the report, Lu sat and thought about his course of action. If he had absolute power, perhaps he might have prosecuted them for treason. Problem was that Lu Han was not, for all that he might argue otherwise, the absolute ruler and autocrat of Yunnan. He still had his cousin to reckon with, and even if he did not deeply respect Long Yun as a person and as a leader, he still would have to consider everything that came out of his mouth. So he decided to do nothing. More to avoid provoking his cousin than out of any feelings for Zhang and An. After all, if his cousin was provoked into revolting, Yunnan would be torn to shreds right then and there. Walking out of his office, Lu Han went to his cousin's office in the government compound. Looking at Long, Lu did not see someone aware of any kind of conspiracy. In fact, the man seemed completely unaware of anything serious going on around him. Looking at Long's apparent contentment, Lu resolved himself on doing nothing and greeted his cousin. Good afternoon, cousin. How are you doing? He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know that Long Yun is a part of this. He is a part of the conspiracy. I mean, we're still... Get rid of production units, okay? A5! That means we can probably actually, buy things. That's cool. I do like buying stuff. We've got our first delivery of infantry equipment, which is fantastic. We're gonna have our first equipment delivery of support equipment as well. Very, very happy to see that. Okay, United Jian. We'll get that one going for our research slot. Oil processing or rubber manufacturing, both of those seem kind of garbage, honestly. And sure, you know, let's go for army organization regen. Let's improve our military bases as much as we possibly can, because we are going to need a strong military. Like, it is an inevitability. That's something that we will need it. It's just kind of like a when. I don't know when we are going to burst into the seams of into China. Like, hopefully we can get like NRA 40th. We can get NRA 24th on side. That would be nice. In theory, the movie could still exist. I mean, it'd be under like a different context, but I don't see the Battle of Algiers could not still happen. I should see it. I've seen like a little bit. They showed a bit of it in my university class, but I think we only watched like the first like 30 minutes or something like that. I should watch it. There's a lot of movies. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of movies I want to watch, but I just have not. I've not gotten around to it. Central Siberia has to conquer the People's Revolutionary Council. Okay, who's winning in Russia right now? Soviet Pacific Fleet. I mean, you guys are all at war with each other. Tomsk's looking pretty good, I would say. They're Irish. Very interesting as well. I'm cursed as a cinema studies student. Yeah, I mean, that's... I mean, that you get what you sign up for, right? Okay, ceasefire in the Philippines. The Americans did significantly worse than we did when we played, for sure. I watched a little bit of Battle of Algiers in my History of Africa class. And then I remember back in high school we watched, holy shit, why can I not remember what the movie is? This is actually embarrassing. I can't remember... Oh, I actually have to Google this. Why can I not... Yeah, Casablanca. Casablanca. I watched it in high school in my media studies class. I remember liking it well enough. Did you not get bigger? Yeah, we annexed Guizhou over here. But I have some older movies too I want to watch. I've got 12 Angry Men downloaded. I want to watch that. Doctor Strangelove I want to see. But I just haven't gotten around to it, which is strange because they're like an hour and a half long. Like I'm not bereft of time. I have the time to watch these movies. I just have not done it. I mostly recently just been playing. We recently bought a Steam Deck, and I've mostly just been playing Disco Elysium in my bed. that's like the last. That's been like my last week. After work is just, I'm just gonna tuck myself in the bed and play some Disco Elysium on my Switch. Or not my Switch, on my Steam Deck. How's Russia doing? I mean, it's going okay. Tom's doing pretty well. The West Siberian People's Republic is doing okay. I think Magadong might be doing okay, or Irsk. I'm not too sure which one's doing better. Hey, look at that. We have another infantry division. Let's go. Put them in the Yellow Army. Put them in the Yellow Army, friends. Get them on the front line. What else are we building? Support equipment, rifles. Why is rifles should be top? Why are you? What the hell? I've been fucking this up this entire time. I have 500 extra anti-tank equipment. That's not what I need right now. Why does AI Germany always go Bormann? I'm guessing that's just kind of like the AI's program. It's probably like a 50% chance to go Bormann. I mean, when I played Germany, we went Bormann, but that was mostly because I didn't realize when I chose him that was me choosing what route I was going to play as. I mean, is Bormann 1? I mean, Speer is doing pretty well. I think Speer might win, actually. Looking at this, Assuming the AI is not like completely fucked to their front lines, I think Spear has a chance. And I don't think I've ever seen a Spear Germany in any of my playthroughs. So I think that could be interesting for sure. These are all garbage I don't care about. Research speed, monthly population. You know what? Sure, let's upgrade schools for the research construction or for the research bonus. I think that sounds pretty good to me. And we can upgrade you. What can we upgrade you with? Yeah, let's go offensive doctrine. And you know what? We'll even throw unyielding defender. You know, we'll simply do both. Okay, we will simply attack and we will defend at the same time. Okay, I think that makes sense for us. The fruits for labor, takeoff day. 3 cheers for Yunnan shall stand as a jewel of the sphere forever. Whenever you see this little marker right here, this all is well with a check mark, that's how you know things are gonna get fucked up, right? If there was not a little check mark that said all is well, oof. I don't know why chat keeps disconnecting, because again, the internet's fine. I'm not too sure what the YouTube chat's going on about. Also, can I get this off my screen? Thank you. Okay, so what do we want to take? What do we want to take? Shore up our weaknesses. We're playing to our strengths. Let's play up our strengths first. I think that seems reasonable. Oh my god, there's so much text in here. You'll see the mantle of the true breadbasket of the sphere. Hell yeah. Let's go, team. Let's make that bread, both literally and figuratively. I don't know. I guess we have good mining operations. Is something. Yeah, so GDP. I mean, I'm glad that debt's gone down to 38.8%. I mean, it's gone down pretty significantly. Inflation 1.4% is fine. I mean, the GDP growth is kind of dog shit. You know, this 1.3%. Not really what we want to see. But also not too much we can actually really do about that. Insurgencies are acting. I mean, like, they're... What do they grow by? 1.8, 0.2, 0.09. They grow slowly. But, I mean, they have 100% strength. What's the penalty on this? Production units to GDP ratio, stability minus 30%. Yeah, I mean, if these guys weren't trying to rebel against us, our economy would be doing significantly better. But it's not... I can't really do anything about that. Because, again, I want the coup to happen. So we gotta make things dog shit. At least a little bit. Okay. Nowhere sure to invest. Yeah, let's increase GDP by 5%. I mean, that sounds pretty good. GDP growth modifier by 8%. I mean, it sounds good to me. The Hellman charged the course. Luhan Wash, as the unending line of advisors, shuffled into the meeting. Each one more great than the last. They were land surveyors, tax collectors, accountants, hardly the crown jewels of any social circle. But the lack of color in each of their suits, as well as the faces, brought his expectations to a low that he had never before experienced. Eventually, the shuffling stopped and the governor peered round to a spot which he had not moved an inch from. He cleared his throat, then spoke. And he did not stop speaking for some time. His focus shifted from the opening of new mines to advancing methods of agricultural production and even to prioritizing the region's lackluster industry. Ultimately, he pressed the absolute necessity of economic modernization. Nothing could block this, and every sacrifice was necessary. Though he had never fooled himself into believing that he was in any way a magnificent orator, Luhan was nevertheless dismayed by his lack of reaction. Only a hushed skepticism had descended across his somber audience. Murmurs of unaffordable costs and impossible objectives surfaced. The governor's shimmering resentment began to boil over. You cannot sow 100 seeds and expect 100 flowers to bloom. It is your job to fertilize the soil. There we go. It's your job to fertilize the soil and tend to the shoots in order to ensure an abundant yield is reaped. It's not your job to squash those same seeds before there had been a chance for them to grow. No other word was spoken in retaliation. The functionaries rolled over and prepared themselves before they inevitably would have to. In turn, the spiraling plans that had been laid before them. Each of them now fully aware of the weight of progress was now squarely on their backs. Modernization was worth any price. But I will say with that, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not doing a thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.